Right. Good evening to everyone. So let's start today's session. This session is complete .NET Core Package course. So in this session, I'm going to explain you, okay, so what subjects I'm going to cover, and also introduction to .NET we'll discuss in this session. So first, this session is completely belongs to .NET Core Package course. .NET Core Package course. In this course, you are going to learn C#.NET, ASP.NET Core, SQL Server, and ASP.NET Core MVC, ASP.NET Core Web API, ADV.NET, and basics of UI technologies. So these many subjects I'm going to cover in .NET Core Package course. And this course duration is 4 months. Okay, this course duration is what? 4 months. And the classes from Monday to Saturday, that is 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. IST. And generally, apart from first week of the session, next week onwards, Monday to Thursday, C#.NET sessions I'm going to cover, and every Friday and Saturday, SQL Server sessions I'm going to conduct. So you are going to learn parallelly C#.NET and SQL Server. Once I finish C#.NET and SQL Server, we'll start with ASP.NET Core. So first of all, .NET is the product of Microsoft. Okay, and .NET stands for Network Enabled Technology. But according to Microsoft, there was no abbreviation for .NET. So only programmers will call it as .NET stands for Network Enabled Technology. So to become a good programmer in .NET, compulsory, you must and should aware of all these subjects. Then only there is a chance to get a job on .NET. Okay, so each and every subject is having its own specification. So which purpose and which subject is which purpose will be used, that I'm going to explain you now quickly within 5 minutes. So C#.NET is every programmer should have the knowledge of programming language. So in our .NET mainly we should focus a programming language called C#.NET. C#.NET is a programming language which is used to write coding part for the application development. Which is used to write coding part for the application development. Generally, to write any coding part or logic part for the application development, which programming language is required in .NET? C#.NET. Next, ASP.NET Core is there, or ASP.NET Framework also there. So ASP.NET is not a programming language. ASP.NET stands for Active Server Page. It is a web technology or server-side technology, we can call it as. Generally, using ASP.NET through, we can design the websites or web pages along with the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap things. These are the UI technologies. And once I complete C#.NET and SQL Server, before going to start ASP.NET, I'm going to discuss minimum 1 week sessions I'll conduct related to HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap, which are mostly useful content in ASP.NET development only. So SQL Server is a relational database management system. Okay, it is used to design or create a database, sir. Because database is also most important concept in real time. So every programmer should aware of the database knowledge also. Because database is having a storage mechanism, like storage area, we can say that. So end user information or client information we can store into database. For that, SQL Server is required. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. And why SQL Server is recommended for especially .NET applications? Majority of the .NET applications will prefer to store their data into SQL Server because SQL Server is the product of Microsoft. But it doesn't mean that .NET do not support other databases like Oracle, MySQL. .NET will support other databases also. but majority of the applications in real time. Okay, so SQL Server dependency is there because SQL Server is the product of Microsoft. .NET is the product of Microsoft. So that's what they will, Microsoft people will recommend to learn SQL Server as a database storage only. Okay, so this is SQL Server database storage area purpose. And ASP.NET Core MVC is there. It is a model view controller. So nowadays, all the real-time applications are designing and developing model view controller concept only, MVC pattern. This is the design pattern. Model represent what actually database model classes, your business logic we can write. So view is represent presentation layer. Controller will act as a mediator from model and view only. So these three layers are available. So in MVC pattern, once we starts with ASP.NET as well as we'll go for MVC and ASP.NET Core Web API also can be used. Web API is nothing but it is just a framework. It's look like web service and for building RESTful services or RESTful application for .NET. And ADV.NET stands for ActiveX Data Object. It is a native driver software. Native driver software means it will act as a mediator from front-end application to back-end application. In general, in real-time applications, whenever we open any website, so you are interacting that website. That website is nothing but front-end application. And from that front-end application, we have to communicate with the database also, no? Back-end application. So for front-end application and back-end application, communication is possible with ADV.NET. ActiveX Data Object, it is a Microsoft native driver it is. And basics of UI technologies. UI means user interface. These are all UI technologies only because every web developer or web designing to design website or to place the content of the website, compulsory HTML is required. HTML is just for making some website content. But if you want to do styling for your HTML elements, then CSS is required. Or if you want to write any functionality for your HTML document, JS is required, JavaScript. JavaScript, most of the cases we can use for validation purpose only. Validation means whether valid data gets into database or not. If it is invalid, then immediately it will say message clearly invalid data like that. Functionality we can make. jQuery and Bootstrap are designed by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript only. jQuery is the extension of JavaScript. So instead of writing complete JavaScript functionality from scratch, so they are providing jQuery libraries. You just consume that libraries into your .NET applications. Directly, we can able to build the jQuery functionalities. And Bootstrap is also, it is important in ASP.NET Core web development, especially designing websites and web pages. We use Bootstrap technique rapidly. So I'll conduct the sessions which is related to UI technologies, no worries at all. Okay, so this is completely basic introduction of our course, .NET course package. In this course, C#.NET, ASP.NET, SQL Server, ASP.NET Core MVC, ASP.NET Core Web API, ADV.NET, and basics of UI. Total 7 subjects you are going to learn in complete, what is that? 7 subjects you are going to learn in complete .NET Core package. So 4 months duration is compulsory required, sir. 4 months duration of this course. And the classes from Monday to Saturday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Thursday, coming next week onwards, we will start. This week completely, I'll teach C#.NET only. I'm speaking about next week from Monday to Thursday, C#.NET, and Friday and Saturday, SQL Server concepts. We'll discuss that. And every session is going to be recorded. Okay, every session is going to record. And every day session after 1 hour, you will receive a recorded video. Along with recorded video, complete soft copy of material is there with C#, ASP, SQL, ASP Core, SQL Server, UI, complete material soft copy. We will hand over it to you only. Okay, so this is just a basic introduction of .NET course, which I'm going to cover subjects. Now coming to the real introduction of .NET. Okay, so what is .NET? .NET is a framework tool which supports around 60 plus languages. .NET is a framework tool which supports around 60 plus programming languages. But we are going to learn only C#.NET because C#.NET is the most powerful programming language among them. So according to programmer requirement, you can use any language like C#, VB.NET, J#, F#, different languages are there. So .NET is a framework tool. Framework is nothing but what? It's a collection of class libraries. Now you can see what is .NET framework. .NET framework is a collection of class libraries. Class library in the sense collection of built-in classes. So as soon as when we install .NET framework software, okay, automatically you will get plenty of class libraries. Class library means collection of classes. Collection of classes. What classes? Built-in classes. So that all classes through, we can able to start development of .NET applications. And most important thing is, if .NET framework class libraries are available, so implementation of .NET applications are very easy. The reason is maximum ready-made resources are coming from Microsoft, and only minimum contribution is required from your side. That's enough to implement the .NET applications. Okay, and .NET stands for Network Enabled Technology, I said, but according to Microsoft, there is no official abbreviation for .NET. It is so .NET is the product of Microsoft, and .NET was announced by Bill Gates in the year of 2000. The first version of .NET was released in the year of 2002. From 2002, there are so many versions are there, .NET Framework version as well as Visual Studio versions. So why Visual Studio is required, sir? Visual Studio means what, you know? It is an editor platform or editor tool. For example, look at here. There are some lot of versions are there. I'll explain you these versions. Now coming to this, let me open my documentation, sir. Give me 1 second. Yes. So I'm just opening my documentation for showing that Visual Studio versions and .NET Framework version. Look at here, as I said that .NET Framework tool supports around 60 plus programming languages. In that, Microsoft completely designed by nine programming languages are designed by Microsoft. What are the 9 programming languages are designed by Microsoft means these are the 9 programming languages list out how. C#.NET, VB.NET, C++, J#, F#, JScript, Windows PowerShell, Iron Ruby, Iron Python. So these are the languages which are exclusively designed by Microsoft. Using these languages also we can develop .NET applications. But first priority I'm giving for C#.NET. The reason is most of the real-time applications are implementing using C#.NET only. So better to learn C#. It's a powerful language. And my intention is to show you what are the versions of .NET Framework and Visual Studio. Let's open this documentation. .NET Framework and Visual Studio. Visual Studio is nothing but it is a editor tool or editor software. So editor means where we can able to write the code and edit the code. That is called editor tool. Visual Studio editor, we can say that. Integrated development environment, we can say that. IDE also we can call it as. As I said, the .NET Framework 1.0 version, first version it is 1.0. Microsoft released .NET Framework version, first version 1.0 in the year of 2000. At the time, Microsoft released Visual Studio Editor, VS name. 1.1 VS 2003, 2.0 VS 2005, 3.0 not applicable. Means at the time of 3.0 .NET Framework, there was no version of .NET Visual Studio version. They were recommended to use Visual Studio 2005. And 3.5 VS 2008, 4.0 VS 2010, 4.5 VS 2012, 4.6 VS 2015, 4.7 Visual Studio 2017, 4.7.1 and 2 VS 2019, 4.8 Framework VS 2022. This is the latest version of Visual Studio where we can write .NET code and where we can edit .NET code, where we can run our .NET code. This is the platform, Visual Studio platform, along with integrated with the respective .NET framework. And to install this .NET framework, Visual Studio, so 64-bit operating system is required. and 2 GB above RAM is required. Your computer C drive space is 20 GB minimum for installation of .NET framework and Visual Studio. But here I want to tell you one thing, Visual Studio along with SQL Server software is also required. SQL Server software, why it is required? The reason is SQL Server software is for database storage. So in our upcoming sessions, even though first initially I will, if I starts with the C#.NET, but in upcoming days, so we will communicate from front-end application to back-end application. Like SQL Server database through also, we have to do some operations, how to read the data from database, how to send the data into database. These are all the things we must and should discuss. For that, SQL Server software is also required. So I strongly recommend to download and install two softwares for .NET application development. One is Visual Studio 2022 as well as SQL Server 2019, or else Visual Studio 2019 or SQL Server 2019. Any version you can go through. These versions are required, sir. First software is Visual Studio, Visual Studio, Visual Studio 2019 and SQL Server 2019. This is the combination, or else Visual Studio 2019 or 2022 also you can do that. Because companies, whatever the latest version is available, still they will not immediately upgrade their version. Still companies are using VS 2017, VS 2019 only still right now. But this was recently released actually here. Okay, so SQL Server 29 is the best option. So these two softwares are need to be installed in your computer for working with the .NET applications. But sir, how we can get these two softwares? It's very simple, very simple. So simply go to Google and type download Visual Studio here, so that you will get clear idea. You can see download Visual Studio 2022 is there. Click on this. So you'll be able to see this visualstudio.microsoft.com. So click on this link. So there is clearly available in the drop-down list Visual Studio community version. This is free for individual developers and academic users and open source. And professional editor also there. This is for individual use only. And this is enterprise edition. This is for company purpose. Free trial version for organization like this. These two are trial versions are there. That means hardly you can able to use 1 or 2 months only. After that evolution period will be expired, you have to install it again, or else you have to purchase from Microsoft. But actually I preferred you better to go for community edition, because this community edition is completely free for you. So you can able to happily work on it once we click on it and download and install it. At the same time, I recommend to download and install SQL Server Management, SQL Server 2019 also. So you can go to Google and download SQL Server 2019. You'll be able to find SQL Server downloads. And I strongly recommend to download and install this one, sir. Developer Edition SQL Server 2019. This is the best option to download and install. Okay. So this is the case. So try to download and install Visual Studio SQL Server. If not, what we can say, any problem while installation, so I will clearly assist you. Okay, you can mail me once you are enrolling this course. So I will help you, or else I'll conduct a separate session for downloading and installing. But actually, I strongly recommend if you download and install your own way, but whenever in future there is a problem to install software and all, you can able to easily rectify that. So this is the first priority. Try to download and install software from your side, so that whenever it is required to download and install again and again, there don't be any problem. Okay, so if really any problem is there, then I'll help you in the downloading process and installation process. You need not to worry about that clearly. Okay, so .NET is the product of Microsoft, and .NET was announced by Bill Gates in the year of 2000. The first version of .NET was released in the year of 2002. And .NET framework, in the sense, it's a collection of class libraries. Class library means collection of predefined classes. All are predefined classes. And .NET framework is there. .NET Core framework is there. Two options are there, sir. Actually, .NET from 2000 onwards, first version onwards, 2016 up to 2016, .NET is a platform dependent nature. Dependent in the sense, the code which was written in one operating system that can be able to run on same operating system. That was dependency. But nowadays, platform from 2016 onwards, .NET also equal to some Java. How Java is open source, .NET is also completely open source. That means Java .NET also can be provide platform independent nature. That means once we develop .NET applications, we can able to run on any platform, Windows, Linux, Unix, anywhere. That's because what .NET Core framework. So core is there and .NET framework is there. So we can able to write a programming using C#, .NET, ASP.NET, ASP.NET MVC, ASP.NET Web API using .NET framework through also we can write, and .NET Core framework through also we can write. But in our session, completely core framework through only I will tell you, because latest so many company people are asking .NET Core. Core means makes platform independent, not they are asking .NET framework. But already started project, old projects are still in the .NET framework platform only. But you just try to learn .NET Core. That is the better option for you. Okay. So let's try to understand what is .NET Core and .NET framework. When we go for .NET framework, your .NET applications are platform dependent. Dependent in the sense what? On which operating system you implement your .NET applications, same operating system only it will be run. If you change the other operating system or other platform, it will not run. But when we go for .NET Core framework, so it makes platform independent. Independent in the sense you can able to design and develop .NET Core applications which will be able to run on any operating system like Unix, Linux, Windows, and other operating system. So using .NET, we can build different types of applications. See, any software technology, if you learn, so ultimate goal is what? Just building the applications. Yes, building the application purpose only. So what kind of applications we can build using .NET? So look at here, standalone applications we can develop using .NET. Standalone application means the applications which will install on which particular mission, on which mission you install, on that particular mission only you can able to run that application, are called standalone or desktop applications. These applications are mostly product based applications like Microsoft Office. It is one of the product. It is a standalone application. That means on which mission you install Microsoft MS Office, on that particular mission only you can able to work, other missions not. You must and should install that software. And standalone applications are desktop applications like console application is there in .NET, Windows Forms application is there, WPF is there, Windows Presentation Foundation, Windows services are there. These are all standalone applications. Mostly our C#.NET syllabus, like 50% of C#.NET syllabus, I'll cover with console applications only, because basics of C#.NET like variables, data types, control flow statements, operators, and arrays, object-oriented programming like encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, overloading, overriding, and so on. So many concepts which is related to object-oriented. I'll cover maximum in console application. It is very, very important application for .NET programmers. So Windows Forms application will provide GUI facilities, graphical user interface. In general, using Windows Forms application, we can develop product-based applications like MS Office, Notepad, okay, Edit Plus, some editor tools we can generate. Even Visual Studio is also one of the editor tool. SQL Server Management Studio also one of the editor tool. That editor tools we can build with the Windows Forms only. And WPF is the advanced version of Windows Forms, Windows Presentation Foundation, and Windows services. How we have web services, same Windows services are there. With these services are standalone services. Okay. And coming to the .NET, using .NET, we can develop distributed applications or online application. This is the main area you should involve in real time. That is web application development. Exclusively, this web application development is possible with ASP.NET. So web application development using ASP.NET, MVC, model view control, design pattern it is, web services. Yes, web services also there, which is going to be use the services from one application to another application, and web services advanced web API. This is also RESTful services we can prepare, and business applications, network based applications, gaming applications, and WCF Windows Communication Foundation. These are all applications we can develop using .NET only. Okay, so this is just a overview. Okay, overview we discuss clearly. So actually, I started demo sessions from last Saturday, last Friday and Saturday. This is only I discuss. Nothing is there in this. So if you want to watch this session videos, okay, those who are new to this session, you can consider this is the first session only, because I have rescheduled the batch from today onwards. Last 2 days just I took demo session. In that demo, whatever I covered just within this 30 minutes of session only. So even if you watch my demo sessions, first and two sessions, okay, that was just hardly 35-40 minutes session I took. Whatever I covered in those two sessions, I covered just now. Okay, this is only I covered. I have not entered any programming part also. You need not worry. Still, if you want to watch my previous session videos of this batch, only two sessions, that is very basics demo sessions. Simply you can go to YouTube, okay, YouTube, and search DurgaSoft. In the YouTube search, you can search simply DurgaSoft, sir, DurgaSoft. You can type DurgaSoft. Now you can see Durga software solution is there. In this, you can see playlist. You can click on it. Once playlist, easily we can able to find. So now you can see whenever we click on playlist, you can see .NET Core demo 1, demo 2. Two videos are there, which I conducted 2 days back here. But that 2 days back, whatever I conducted sessions that are very basics, only 30-40 minutes session I took. And that session details also I explained just now, whatever I covered in this session. Okay, what I discussed, this is only I discuss in those two sessions. No need to worry. I have not started any logic part and programming part. Okay, so those who joined today, you don't worry. If still you want to watch my demo session, you can go through this .NET Core tutorials by Mr. Mohan Reddy at 4 p.m. batch. Okay, so but you people consider this is the first session only, because already I have rescheduled the batch. This is only first day itself. Okay, so now today we are going to discuss about .NET code execution process. .NET code execution process. So .NET code execution process. Execution process means what, sir? When we try to write a program, generally using C# .NET programming language, and how our code is going to be compiled and execute. So that is called .NET code execution process. So generally, when we consider C language, so whatever we write the code in your computer or editor, that is source code. Generally, source code is compiled by language compiler, no? Respective language compiler. C compiler is there. Source code is compiled by language compiler, and it will produce finally, after successful compilation, bytecode it will be produced. After bytecode produced, then it will transfer to operating system for further process. This is general process in every programming language. Like whatever the code we write in our editor tool, like that is source code only before executing. And whenever we start compilation, language compiler will come into the picture and it will compile the source code. After successful compilation, then bytecode will be produced. Bytecode in the sense system understandable code or binary code or mission code. This code can be transferred to operating system for further process. This we know that. But when it comes to .NET program execution, okay, this is the diagrammatic representation which I want to show you, because code execution process in .NET, how it will be, you have to understand first. So before going to start coding part, look at this diagram, simple diagram. So in .NET program execution process, your code can be compiled twice. Okay, so that is first compilation and second compilation. In this diagram, I took, this is source code here, first part, source code. SC means source code. I have given clear abbreviations also here. Source code, SC. LC means language compiler. MSIL is nothing but Microsoft Intermediate Language Code. CIL is nothing but Common Intermediate Language Code. Common Intermediate Language. IL means Intermediate Language. Any name you can give it. MSIL or CIL or IL. Now coming to the second compilation, CLR is there. CLR is the main component in .NET. Common Language Runtime. You can see this. How Java people will use like JVM. Java people uses JVM for their execution process. Same in .NET program execution, CLR is there, Common Language Runtime. This CLR is having a compiler called JIT compiler, just-in-time compiler, just-in-time. Just wait, just 1 minute. You just hold on a line. I'll be back. So in the code execution process, .NET code execution process, especially two compilations takes place, compilation 1 and compilation 2. So coming to this, whatever we write the code in C#.NET, just writing. Okay, you can open Visual Studio and write your C#.NET code, select as a programming language called C#. That code is called source code, sir. Generally, after completion of your coding part, you are ready to execute or not? Yes, our code should be ready to execute. Now, in the process of first compilation takes place. Which compiler will takes place? C#.NET compiler will takes place. Which compiler will takes place? C#.NET language compiler will takes place. Once C#.NET language compiler is available, then this language compiler will compile the source code. Compilation means check for errors. If any errors are there, immediately compilation errors will show that. Compilations errors will show that. And you have to rectify. If no errors, for example, okay, if no errors are there, so after successful compilation, C# language compiler will generate a special type of code which is related to Microsoft Intermediate Language, MSIL code, or Common Intermediate Language, CIL code or IL code. This is called MSIL format, Microsoft Intermediate Language Code format. It is completely. This code is completely in English language format only. It is not in binary format. You know that at the end of the program, our operating system should understand that operating system will understand only binary format or mission level code only. But still MSIL code is not a mission level code. It's still in the English language format, how we write program same, which is related to Microsoft. Up to here, first compilation takes place. When it comes to second compilation, in second compilation, Common Language Runtime is there, CLR. CLR is there. CLR is the main component, Common Language Runtime. This CLR component will provide runtime environment or execution environment for .NET applications. So how Java people uses JVM, okay, same in .NET we have to use CLR. It's a built-in component for our .NET framework. So common language runtime is there. This common language runtime will execute the code, but before that, just-in-time compiler is there, JIT. It is a compiler which is involved in the second compilation of .NET program execution. And this just-in-time compiler responsibility is what? So converting MSIL code into native code only with the help of CLR. MSIL code is Microsoft related format. Finally, we need to give some output purpose. We need to give code to the operating system, but our operating system will understand only what code, native code or binary code only. This code who will convert? Just-in-time compiler will process this MSIL, and with the help of CLR, then finally after executing the CLR code, after executing the code by CLR, CLR will produce a native code. This native code will transfer to operating system for further process. But strictly remember, .NET code will execute by CLR. Operating system will only process that code only. Got my point? So second compilation, first compilation. So whenever we write .NET code, especially C#.NET programs, when we go for compile and run, this process is going to be takes place actually. First compilation, second compilation. But generally, when we write the code, when we hit the simple F5 button or execute button, you will get output quickly. But behind the scenes, this much of logic is going to be takes place exactly. So always first compilation is slow. Why? Because maximum code is compiled by respective language compiler only. But second compilation is fast bit. Why? Because this just-in-time compiler will compile this code only. Maximum 60 to 70% code is compiled here only, but rest of the code can be compiled with CLR JIT compiler only. So JIT compilation is the faster rate of compilation than normal language compiler only. So this is the code execution process in .NET. You can choose any language. Even if we choose C#.NET, we have written C#.NET source code. C#.NET language compiler will come into the picture. If you write J# code, J# compiler will come into the picture. So respective language compiler will take place the code here. So this is the first compilation and second compilation like this. So this we have to know. Why? Because generally when we write code and when we hit the run button, automatically we will get output. But how the process is, what's going to happen internally, you must and should aware of that. That's what I explained this code execution process in .NET only clear. So .NET code execution process. Two compilation takes place here. First compilation, first compilation, first compilation normally respective language compiler, and second compilation is what actually by using CLR JIT compiler only. Second compilation is going to take place CLR JIT compiler. CLR JIT compiler is there. JIT JIT compiler is there. This is the code execution process. So once again, I'm telling you, I'm not going to discuss any .NET framework logic. I'm going to discuss in our complete sessions .NET core framework logic. What is the difference between .NET core framework and .NET frameworks are? .NET framework through when we develop .NET application, which will makes that platform dependent only. .NET core framework through when we make the application, that is called .NET platform independent only. Means which can be run on any operating system. So these are the application area, and this is .NET code execution process. And what is .NET? What is .NET framework? And what subjects I'm going to cover? Complete .NET core package course only. Total 7 subjects I'm going to cover. C#, ASP.NET Core, SQL Server, ADV.NET, ASP.NET Core, Web API, MVC, basics of UI technologies. Basics of UI means these UI technologies I'm going to cover before going to start ASP.NET. Okay, but in upcoming sessions we'll discuss about .NET components are there. Most important components are there. Without these components, we cannot able to write our code. We cannot able to run our code. What are the .NET components in the sense? Framework class library or base class library. BCL is there. BCL stands for base class libraries. Base class libraries, BCL stands for. Next one is CLR. I need to give more clarity about CLR. It's a very, very important component. CLR. CLR stands for common language runtime. We can say common language runtime. So base class library and CLR. These two components will be discussed in tomorrow's session clearly. So if you have any question regarding this complete introduction, you can feel free to ask me now. So 4 months duration of this course. This is completely .NET Core package course, and every day session time is fixed 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and every day session is going to be recorded. The same recorded session video I will send to your Google Drive. The videos are completely downloadable and lifetime access along with this soft copy of material. You can see this. Let me show you that the complete soft copy of materials are. So already we have C#.NET material part 1. Look at here. C#.NET material part 1 it is. This is only part 1. Okay, complete programs and theoretical part, everything I have included this material. Every topic, program and theoretical material, part 1 only. And C#.NET material part 2, which is going to be covered in our session like Windows Forms. Windows Forms means standalone applications, no? So this is part 2 with screenshots, with coding, everything. And ASP.NET is there. ASP.NET framework is there. ASP.NET framework material. I will send to you this also, those who are interested to design ASP.NET web applications using framework, not using .NET Core framework. This material also, it is additional benefit. Those who wants to learn ASP.NET with framework, I will also send this material to you, no problem. But in our class, I'm going to tell you completely ASP.NET Core. Look at here, ASP.NET Core is there. This is the ASP.NET Core material with clear picture. Okay, if you follow the notes, no doubt at all, you will not get any confused. That much of clarity I maintain while preparing this documentation with screenshots, how to work, how to download everything, what are the code, where should write the code, in which file you have to go. Everything I maintain clear documentation. And also SQL Server is there. Now you can see SQL Server material also there. And most important thing is SQL Server basics not I'm going to cover. SQL Server complete concepts, joins, views, triggers, stored procedure, okay, schemas, database storage, everything. Top to bottom, I'll cover SQL Server. Then you can able to apply a SQL Server developer role also after completion of the sessions. So this is from my side today. You can consider this is the first session of your .NET, even though I conducted just basic demos last Friday and Saturday. That is not there. Whatever I covered in the 2 sessions, I covered today itself. No worries at all. Okay. So those who are new to this session, if you want still watch my video, you can watch that YouTube channel. Okay. They will only upload 5-6 videos for promotional purpose only. And once you enroll for this course, and I will start sending the videos and material to your mails only. No issues. And this is from my side. Any questions regarding this .NET Core package course, you can feel free to ask me now. Or else place your question in chat box so that I will give you answer. Yeah, go ahead. Any questions?
Hi, sir. I am Naveen.
Yeah,
Am
tell
I
me.
audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, yeah, I have a plan to learn .NET with Selenium. The course what you are providing me, is this enough or it is something more?
No, actually, my role is complete .NET I'm going to teach, but don't expect from me Selenium.
Okay, sir. I
Selenium,
understood. I understood, sir.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Selenium, you have
understood.
to
This
take
is
care
not.
from your side, but .NET package courses, it is more than enough. You can see this almost everything I'm going to included in this. 7 subjects are included, including UI technologies also. Programming language is there, web designing purpose, ASP.NET Core and MVC is there, backend is there, SQL Server and web API is there, and basics of UI is there. That's more than enough.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Any question, Arpita? I think you raise your hands. Can you please go ahead your question?
What is the course price for this? Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you. That course price is only just 10,000 for all subjects with pre-recorded videos, downloadable material, lifetime, everything, videos you can be able to download and access lifetime with 4-month course duration.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Placement assistance, we will not provide any. This we will have the WhatsApp group once you enroll for this course. Okay, there are so many students are available. Those who are working in companies. Like if I get any alerts from them, then I'll notice you. Then you can able to apply a job. So we will maintain WhatsApp group every time. So in our right now our .NET group, so many people are there, so many students are there. So if any things, generally my old students usually ask to the resumes, okay, currently batch resumes. If they have any vacancies, then we'll upload that. So you will also a part of in WhatsApp group after enroll for this course. And any questions and doubts daily basis while practicing, you can feel free to post that questions in our WhatsApp group. Our students will respond. Even I will also respond whenever I'll get free time. Yeah, C# first I will cover with SQL, then ASP.NET and others. This is compulsory required because without C# you can't go for ASP.NET Core. Without ASP.NET Core, you cannot go for MVC. Without MVC, you cannot go for Web API. That some relation is there. And SQL Server at any point of time you can learn it, because mostly every Friday, Saturday, weekend sessions, SQL Server sessions I'll conduct. So because in the middle of C#.NET, we have to communicate with the database. Up to that, you have to be ready with SQL Server knowledge also. That is the case. Yeah. Any questions? So thanks for attending this session. You can
And
also
coming
join.
to SQL Server, you will be like taking classes on complete package on SQL.
SQL Server complete only. If it's not basics, I said no. All things will cover: constant, basics, normalization, database securities, joins, views, triggers, stored procedures, indexers, everything.
Okay.
So please join tomorrow also on the same link at same time only. This link will work continuously by this Saturday only. You can attend by the Saturday up to Saturday sessions. Okay. Meanwhile, you can able to register or enroll for this course if you are really continue the session. No problem at all. Okay. So see you tomorrow again on same link at same time. Still, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me now. Mr. Suvin, tell me, if I attend online classes after some days, any possibility? Just a minute.
I try to join the class, but I can't. So I have to email to the DURGASOFT, and they send me email. They send me the link. So with that link, I can attend the class.
With this link, you have to attend the class for this week only. Every day you have to be registered with your name and mail. And after 1 week sessions, once your enrollment process is complete, then I'll give my link from my side. That is the short link. No need to register. Just click on the link and join it immediately.
Oh, I have already made the payment.
No problem. No problem. You can use this link for this week till Saturday. So after that, you will get a new link from my side.
You mentioned that last Friday was there a class?
See, the thing is, the class was started last week, Friday and Saturday. 2 days I took the sessions, and this is the third day. But I have rescheduled the session. Okay, that's what I started from beginning onwards, because most of them are new to this class only. From today onwards, you can continue, and this will be considered as a starting session. So we will go for regular sessions like this.
Yeah, because last week I attended on Thursday, but when I come on Friday, with the link wasn't working.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Actually, we conducted 2 sessions only. Actually, you can consider this from this now onwards regular sessions. Okay, you can continue on this link only for this week. And even though if you already enroll means no worries at all. Today I'll collect your mail ID from DurgaSoft. I'll share that my videos and soft copy of material up to now whatever I discuss. Okay.
Yeah. May I get the link of the 2 class that you have taken? I will watch it before tomorrow class.
Yeah, just now I have shown no that what's let just give me 1 second. On YouTube you can able to watch that, and nothing I covered, only theoretical part. Just the theoretical part only I covered. I have not started any coding part also so far. So if you want, you can go through this playlist. I'll share the link also now. Just wait, and I can go through this video and I can share this link. Now you can able to take this link in. I'm going to place this link in chat box. You can collect it.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
How long it will take to finish C sharp? C sharp and with SQL combination, almost 45 to 50 days it will take. And then after ASP will start. Rest of the things completely my focus on ASP.NET Core, MVC and Web API, everything. Yeah. Okay, see you tomorrow, all of you. Thanks for attending this session. You can join on same link only. Okay. By this total
Tomorrow's
this week.
class, do we need to register again?
No, you can click on this link. It will ask you to enter name and mail or something like this. Even not only you, my side also, I should register myself as a trainer. Only DurgaSoft people will start the session by this week totally, completely. Once your enrollment is finished, then that completely control is in my hand only. I can start meeting. I can share the link. No need to register every day. Just click on the link and you can join it after 1 week.
Okay.
Yeah. See you tomorrow. Have a nice time.